Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Alex and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an Unus Annus Hourglass.
Unus Annus, Unus Annus.
This project is not only fun to do, but it's a great way to remember the 12 months that Mark and Ethan gave us so many funny videos. Sniff, sniff, I've already used them. Okay, you'll need to check out my tiny skull tutorial to make this black and white skull. I'll pop a link in the description for you. Now, for this project, you're going to need some yarn, black and white, one ball of each should do, a crochet hook, some felt, preferably a sheet of black felt and white felt, a pair of scissors, some polyfibre fill, a darning needle, a stitch marker is optional, and a few pebbles or marbles for weighting. And totally optional is some fabric craft glue, sewing pins, and a needle threader. So for this project I'm using some milk cotton yarn, which is about a DK weight, and a 3.5mm hook. Now you want to have a hook too that's a little bit smaller than the size that they would recommend on the label. That keeps the stitches nice and tight and you don't see any of that fibre fill coming through to your project. So we're going to start with doing the actual hourglass part of this project. That's the part that the sand usually goes into, and we'll start off with the black yarn. So create a magic ring or magic circle. And we'll be working 6 single crochet around that circle. Now I put the pattern at the bottom of your screen and all the instructions that you need. This is going to make it a little bit easier. If you get stuck, you can always use the timestamps that I put in the description. They'll take you straight to the part of the pattern that you need. If you're experienced with amigurumi, you'll be pretty comfortable with making this project. It sort of starts off with your basic increasing towards making a circle.
Oh wow, I've never been to one of these clubs before. Whoa!
Jazz? Yeah. Classic, old, funky fun. Just like Mama used to make.
Ah! Good God!
You've never heard of jazz before? Well, let me play you a little ditty. Prepare to feel. Is that good for you?
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Is that good for you? You've never heard of jazz before? Well, let me play you a little ditty. Prepare to feel, 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 feel. Is that good for you? Is that good for you? Jazz?
I hope you enjoyed that bit of fun. Okay, so rounds 8 to 13 are exactly the same, which is a single crochet into every stitch. Now from here we start to decrease. Now it's not your standard amigurumi decrease where it's just decreasing 6 times every round. So just pay attention to the instructions at the bottom of your screen. It's by no means complicated, but it does change up your regular decrease. Okay, so this is the part where I was mentioning we've got 8 single crochets and 1 decrease 3 times around, and this is just reducing the circle to more of that cone shape that we've got in the hourglass. It's about now that you can add some of your polyfibre fill, which will just help that shape bulk out a little bit, make the rest of the crocheting a bit easier. Now you can add some more polyfibre fill. Now you want it to be quite firm because you really need it to stand up straight. The only thing that's really supporting the hourglass is how much fibre fill you put in there, and especially around that neck area where it gets really quite fine, and you want to have that strong enough to support itself. Now we'll be changing over to the white yarn, and we're going to be making the same shape as the black section we've just crocheted, but it will just be in reverse. as you've already crocheted the black section and you know what you're doing, I'm just going to speed through this next bit. All the instructions will be there. Again, the timestamps will be in the description for you. Okay, it's time to add your weights. They can be a large stone, some pebbles, marbles. I've got some glass pebbles that I'm using here. That will just help your hourglass to sit upright and stay weighted. And I found that's the best way of being able to make this hourglass sort of sit and stand upright. This is the last chance to push some extra polyfiber fill into your project. You really want to pack in nice and tightly. That will give you the best result, nice and firm. Then stitch your hourglass closed and we'll get on to making the base. But just before that,
You should not try this at home.
Yeah, don't do this.
Don't do this. We can do this because we know what we're doing.
Hey now, don't try it. Hey now, don't try it.
Is that the disclaimer song?
Hey now, don't try it at home. Do 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 do. Hey now, don't try it. Don't you dare try it. You might die if you do this at home. Do 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 do. Here's the bridge. Go. Don't try it. Don't do the thing that we're about to do. Do 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 do. Ooh, don't try this at home or you'll die if you try this thing at home. Do 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 do. Oh, it's a key change. Oh, it's a key change. Oh, it's a disclaimer song. Don't try this at home. If you do, you might die. This is our disclaimer to you. Hey, don't be that guy. Just watch us do the thing you want to do. Be safe for me, but be safe for you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Whoever's editing that better be amazing.
Here's the bridge, go. Don't try it. Don't do the thing that we're about to do. Ooh, don't try this at home or you'll die if you try this thing at home.
Now the pattern changes up a little bit from here. If we just kept doing the same increase pattern, we would end up with a heptagon, which is a 7-sided shape, rather than a circle. So I've just changed the pattern a little bit. It still creates the same size, but it'll just soften that outside edge and make it more of a circle. Now this step can be done any time through the whole project. Basically you're just going to cut out 2 shapes of felt which are going to go into the top and bottom base of your hourglass, and they will hold the circle bases a lot sort of more supportively, straighter, flatter. So the thicker your felt, the better. If you haven't got very thick felt, you can glue 1 or 2 layers together. They'll just make it a little bit stronger. And you don't have to have black or white felt. You can use whatever you've got, close by. I just happen to have the right colours on hand so that if you see any gaps through the holes of your crochet, you'll only see the felt, which is the same colour. But it really doesn't matter. Now for the next 2 rows, we'll be using just the back loops of your crochet stitches, and that will make the circle sort of fold to go back onto itself. So it kind of gives it like a crease. Now we're going to glue in our felt circle to give the base more stability. If you don't have glue, that's fine. The felt will sit in there just fine. Now you've finished making the base out of the white yarn, make one exactly the same out of the black yarn. If you're still with me, I'm super impressed. We've only got the side supports to make and then sew it all together and we've got a fantastic memento. Now this next bit looks a little bit tricky, but really it's not. I know you can do it. We're going to create like a little cluster, which is the middle part of the support, to give the impression of like a ball, which is what the Unus Annus logo has. So you're going to do what looks like a double crochet through that last chain that you created, but you're only going to pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook, not all 3, and you're going to keep that last loop on your hook. And I want you to repeat that another 3 times, so that's 4, I guess, double crochets but not quite finished, and it's going to create a little cluster. Then pick up the yarn and pull it through all the remaining loops of yarn on your hook. Then you're going to single crochet all the way back down that chain, right to the very last one. Now for the white part of the side supports. This bit's a little bit easier. So you'll chain 15 stitches. Single crochet to the cluster that you just created on the black section. Just go through 2 of the stitches to keep it nice and secure. Join with a slip stitch and then single crochet all the way back down the white chain. Now you need to make another one of these, but you've been so great, I think we need to have a little bit of a reward.
Do the dance of Italy.
The dance of Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, whoa, 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 Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, ho, whoa, whoa, it's the dance of Italy, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, it's time to sew all your bits and pieces together. You don't need to use some craft glue, but if you have it, it's kind of handy just to hold the top and the bottom base into place. You could also glue the skulls in place. Now just a little tip when you're sewing on or finishing off your amigurumi projects and you want to hide the yarn, the finishing tail, it's best if you change direction going through into the project, then take your needle back the opposite way. Do that a couple of times and it helps to sort of snag the yarn in place and the project won't come undone. Of course, gluing any amigurumi project is optional. I don't really like to do it, but it just made this job a little bit easier to position the top and bottom bases and get it all centered before I sewed it into place. Totally optional though. Okay, it's time to add our side supports. We're nearly there. Very easy, just thread your tails that you left on the side supports, thread them through to the base and secure them with 2 or 3 knots, and then hide that extra tail into your crochet project.
Oh wow, I've never been to one of these clubs before. Whoa!
Jazz? Yeah. Classic, old, funky fun. Just like Mama used to make.
Ah! Good God!
You've never heard of jazz before? Well, let me play you a little ditty. Prepare to feel. Second for you.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Second for you. You've never heard of jazz before? Well, let me play you a little ditty. Prepare to feel, 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 feel,
Ta-da! I love this project. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. But as always, I need to ask my dog Piglet. What does she think? Let's see.
Second for you.
Was that good for you? I hope so. I hope you really enjoyed watching and making this Unus Annus Hourglass project. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, a like, and consider subscribing for some more fun amigurumi and craft projects. And also comment what you would like me to make next. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay awesome. Bye.
Jazz?